Okay, so today we have Andrea from Downtown Self Storage in Conway, Arkansas. And welcome to be here, Andrea. You want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have been in this town since 1981. I've seen it grow from a tiny little town that had nothing into something that is almost a metropolis. And it's quite different than it was, and there's definitely a need for storage in this town. We have three colleges, and we are actually only a few blocks from Hendrix College, and I have quite a few tenants from Hendrix College that are here with us. So um, this is a town that is in desperate need of storage, and we are right where we can offer it to them in a wonderful spot.
Awesome. Awesome. And you guys have a real excellent facility. So we're going to talk a little bit. I'm just going to ask you a few questions today about the storage group and specifically Click and Store. And we're kind of reaching out to folks that use our rental tool to some extent, and a little bit about how it's helped get through these challenging times that we've been in over the
Yes.
last few months. So the first question I have for you is, what attracted you guys to the storage group, Click and Store? And then what challenges or pain points were you running into prior to picking up these solutions?
Absolutely. Now, this one might be a bit difficult for me to answer because the business was opened in 2004, and I came to work for the Wills in 2018. So they were actually open for 14 years before I started, and I'm going to guess the thing that attracted the owners to Click and Store in the first place was the fact that it allows people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to not only rent a unit, but to also make payments. And in this day and age, people love to do things over the web. It's so much easier than getting in their car and driving or picking up the phone and calling. And the fact that we are only open from 10 to 3 Monday through Friday, therefore we have limited hours, this allows tenants 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to not only move in, but to make those payments so that they have access to their unit outside of normal business hours.
Hmm. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that for sure. I mean, in a lot
Absolutely.
of different industries as well, right?
Yes.
So next, I guess going along the same line is, how does Click and Store help you manage the self-storage business more effectively? What does it give you some additional time to do other things that are required of you? I mean, tell me a little bit about how you
It
see
does.
Click and Store helping.
It absolutely helps me because it's just me that runs this facility, and we have 240 units, and it's only me, which means that I'm quite busy. And generally, we're not at full capacity most of the time. We have between 225 to 230 units generally rented out at any given time, which is quite a bit for one individual. So the fact that people can go online to make their payments, and they don't have to try to get here between the hours of 10 and 3. Also, a lot of times when people need storage, they oftentimes don't know that they need it until the weekend. And so having the Click and Store allows people to rent a unit and make their payment at the drop of a hat without having to arrange their schedule to fit into our business hours.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's great.
I think that draws potential tenants to know that they don't have to conduct business Monday through Friday 10 to 3, that they can literally conduct it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, absolutely. And that helps the business model and the revenue generation.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yes.
great. That's great. So let's talk a little bit about the current times that we're living in, and
Yes.
we pray that it's not the new normal as everybody's talking about. But let's focus a little bit about how does Click and Store helping you during this current crisis and pandemic? How's it helping the business?
I'm so thankful to have it. Approximately 3 weeks ago, perhaps longer actually, I closed my office. Although I'm in the office every day from 10 to 3, as I would if we did not have this pandemic going on, I no longer allow people into my office. Um, so this helps because people can make their payments and lease a unit online. Now, they can always call me and make a payment, and they can always call me to lease a unit, but this allows them to stay in the safety of their home and do this without having to interact with someone else and be concerned about spreading or they themselves getting the coronavirus. I could not do what I am doing during this situation if we did not have Click and Store. It's been
Mm.
a godsend during this pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's just the times are so challenging, and you almost feel funny, don't you? Sometimes not mingling with people, and I'm sure the position you're in, um, you have a lot of those face-to-face interactions
Yes,
and people that you know, and now it's like it almost feels weird not to continue along those same social lines, you know?
it really does. And having said that, so many of my tenants use Click and Store anyway. It's this day and age, and I'm older. I'm 52, so I didn't grow up with computers. It wasn't until I was in college and then out of college and working in the real world that I was using computers on a regular basis. But I think having this is keeping people at home and keeping them safe and keeping them from spreading the coronavirus. Um, and I think people are thankful that we have it. It keeps them safe. And I think people feel a lot safer knowing that they can do something online without having to leave the safety of their house or having to interact with another human being and be fearful.
Mm, yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we'll wrap this up. I'm going to ask you. I mean, you've been in the industry for a while, and like you said, you're solo running that store, that facility there. So for our listeners here, that are finding these times just as hard, what recommendations, advice do you have for other self storage facility owners during this time? I mean, and what do you what's been working for you, and what challenges have you come into that you've overcome, and just to maybe help out our audience a little bit.
Well, I would certainly recommend that they use Click and Store right off the bat. I would certainly recommend this to anyone because I have never had an issue with it. It is such a smooth transition. And I would say if they aren't using Click and Store, they certainly need to use Click and Store. And oftentimes when I have had people call me asking about units and they have let me know they were interested in renting one and that they would come down to the office to take care of the lease, I have let them know that they could go online and they could do it via Click and Store. And there's a sense of relief on their part that they don't have to leave their house, that they don't have to have a face to face meeting in order to get storage. And a lot of times, people that need storage, sometimes it's a planned thing where they know they're going, but sometimes it's a spur of the moment. And with the Click and Store, they can make that decision. It's 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. I need a storage unit, and then they can just go online and get it, and they don't have to wait. It's in a world where there is no instant gratification, this is instant gratification for people, and so many people need storage in a hurry. Their situation has changed. They've lost their apartment, they've lost their job, they've gone through a divorce. As with Hendrix College, on the 13th of last month, the campus closed down. They made that announcement at 11 o'clock on the 13th, and by 11:10, I was having Hendrix College students using Click and Store to move in. So
Yeah,
I would certainly recommend this to anyone, even outside dealing with a pandemic or any sort of crisis. I would say that this is the best way to go.
awesome.
And especially now, when you don't know when you're dealing with someone if they have it or if they've been exposed to it. And this way, no one has to worry. The storage managers and the tenants don't have to worry about exposure. And so many times when you need storage, it's because your life is in an upheaval. So
Mm,
this helps them do things a little bit more smoothly and helps them be less stressed, I believe.
great. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the times are we're all experiencing different things that we've never probably dreamed that we
No.
would ever encounter. So, okay, Andrea, well, I thank you for your time today. I
Well,
thank
you're
you
very
for
welcome.
sharing some moments and some things with us. And we at the storage group appreciate you and the ownership, and we we wish you all safety and God bless everybody you know, your families and all through this period of time. Okay.
You as well, and if you ever need me, please feel free to call me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions for you.
Okay. Thank you so much. You have a
Thank you,
great day.
Steve. You too. Bye bye.
Yes. Yeah. Bye bye.